Well, hey there, and welcome to the MomBiz Cafe, the podcast where we talk about life as a self-employed mom, entrepreneurship, and small business marketing. Sit back, grab a coffee, and listen along with us at the MomBiz Cafe.
Hello. Welcome everyone who might be watching. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is. I am Brittany, and I am now officially one half or 50% of MomBiz Cafe, and the other half, the other 50%, Alysha is joining me. Say hi.
Hello.
Oh, so exciting. And if you have listened to some of our past episodes, Alysha has been on with me once or twice, maybe only once.
I think we only actually physically recorded once. Yeah.
But we talk every morning, and we're here today to share some of that journey with you. So if you've already met her or you're in her circle, well, then you know her already. But I will pass it over to you to introduce who you are and what your business is, and then we can talk about like how we're coming together for MomBiz Cafe.
Sounds good. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alysha Spencer, and I am a photographer turned VA. So I'm now running both businesses. So I am still doing photography here in the Okanagan, but I'm also offering virtual assistant services, mainly for photographers, and helping them, get their crap together in the back end of their business so that they can reduce overwhelm, get back to shooting, and enjoy their business a little bit more. I am happily married. We are celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary next year, and 20 years dating. So next year's a big year for us. And we have two crazy kids that keep us, on our toes. A little boy and a little girl who are both going to school next year, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm gonna have two kids in school. And that's about that.
Both in school now, big changes.
Yeah.
Got a few
I know.
years till my youngest is in school, but those of you who might be new here, I have 4 children, so I've doubled capacity of Alysha's family. Always entertaining. Although two of my kids, we share them week on, week off, so sometimes week 1 in the house is like complete chaos with all 4 kids here, and we live in a bedroom and den place, so it's a little tight, and then that's the second week is like a little quieter, although is it really going to be that quiet with a 2 and 6-year-old? No. Lots of the 6 kids between us here at MomBiz Cafe, so
so there'll be lots of mom chat and the crazy kids running around in the background, but today it's quiet, so let's take advantage of it.
As we hit record, I heard the garage and I'm like, oh well,
oh no,
like they're home now, but let's see what happens. But that that's like the thing about MomBiz Cafe, the podcast specifically, that I love the most is like, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube or social, by the way, like there's no Zoom background, like this is my house, whatever's behind, or whatever going on behind.
There's laundry in my egg chair. It's just whatever. What it is.
Books. And if the kid noise is in the background, too bad for you, because we're not gonna be quiet. So, I thought we would share a little bit about this whole like collaboration thing that we have going on, because it is, well, us collaborating together isn't new, but the cafe coming together is technically new. But we have known each other for, I don't know the actual,
a long time. It's been a long time,
and it's kind of been like on and off. We've kept contact for like various reasons. First, we worked at the same place, but not at the same time.
We didn't work at the same time. So I actually think I worked at the tanning salon before you did, but I didn't work there for very long. And then obviously I stopped working there. You started working there. So we don't ever think we really cross paths working there, but then I would tan there after I stopped working there. So then I would just see you all the time, right? And so then it was just like, you were Brittany at the tanning salon.
So funny. And I still get occasionally when I'm out, like, tanning girl. I'm like, yeah, I have a name. You didn't know it then, but you should know it now. It's Brittany, not tanning girl. But anyway, that's so funny. And we're also connected through your husband, because your sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law.
And
she worked at the tanning salon too.
Anyways, all connected. All things.
So many connections.
I think actually like years and years and years ago, when I used to scrapbook a lot, I feel like we had the same scrapbooking events or something.
We did. Yeah, that was like, I remember that was a big thing for a couple of years where we would like lug all our stuff to this woman's house. We would like go there and she'd have like pizza. It was like a retreat weekend. And I'm like, man, we need to do that for like moms. We should plan that. Let's add that to the list.
I know. Oh my gosh, I really miss that actually. Scrapbooking.
I do too. I know. No, I just don't have the time for it now. I'm like, I can barely order like an album for myself. If it's for clients, then there's a deadline, you have to do it. But trying to order like my own stuff and get my own stuff done, I'm just like, oh, I'll do it next year.
Well, it's kind of bad. You know, like everyone kind of is into the digital stuff. I still like physical scrapbooking, but I haven't done it probably like 10 years, which is crazy.
I know.
And I feel like
maybe one day
I would be guilty if I started it now, because then I'm like, oh, I'll have scrapbooks for the youngest kid, but like not the other ones. So let's just not do that.
Right. Let's start with this year and maybe work our way back.
Oh my goodness. So the recent sort of collaboration, I guess we go back in time. I launched the MomBiz Cafe membership in, I want to say it was March.
Yeah.
Around March of this year, so 2022. After going through a program called Create and Sell with Carrie Green, who was like my business idol. I love her, Carrie, if you ever hear this.
We love you, Carrie.
Love you. We love all your stuff on your membership too. Learning lots all the time over there. And so this idea like did not exist when I started that program. I was like, I'm going to go in there and try and figure out if I can take my social media content membership and like get clear, dial it up, scale it, whatever. And then a week or two in, it was kind of, there was all these exercises that took you through mindset and foundations and figuring out what you want to do. And because the program was actually more geared towards people who like create and sell that didn't have an idea yet or like a brand new business, it got me thinking in a different way. So I kind of like put all that other stuff aside and leveraged my team to help me do that. And then started thinking about like, what do people actually come to me for outside of the business, like marketing aside, because that's what I do to like, you know, make the money. And I'm often like the kind of the sounding board. I love to talk. I'm a crazy Gemini. I pretty much never shut up. Maybe that's where my kids get it from. And I started to think about like different things I was maybe missing in my life. And I've been on this journey forever to try and become a morning person, like longer than I can admit. And I've done hypnotherapy to like dig into why I like won't get up early, like all sorts of stuff. I've read books, I've like done courses, like and I just couldn't find the thing. And then I was like, oh, well, nobody's holding me accountable to this. It actually has nothing to do with my belief system anymore, because I believe that I want it. I just have no reason or nothing to be like super excited for to get up at that time. And then it kind of led me, you know, further down that. I was like, how can I achieve that? Well, I can just get on Zoom with someone at 6 a.m. in the morning if that's when I want to be up, and start there. So I had hired a virtual assistant first to every morning. And I was like, okay, this is the time we're going to get on and assign tasks for the day. And that like, she's still my virtual assistant, this other gal, and she's amazing, but we don't get on Zoom at 6 because I do other stuff. And then I started asking questions in the group, like, are other people in the program that I was taking, like, were other people struggling with morning routines? The answer was like overwhelmingly yes. But the reality of like carving time out for yourself in the morning, if you have kids, and especially if you're a female entrepreneur with kids, or a male entrepreneur, I guess it doesn't discriminate that way, but if you have kids in a business and you work at home, if you don't set that time aside for yourself before your kids wake up, that you're not getting it. Unless you have childcare support, whatever. But in my case, our kids aren't in daycare. It is what it is. I'm working when they're here. So the only option for me was like, what can I do before 7? Because that's like when they get up. So the idea was very simple. I'm going to have a virtual cafe on Zoom, drop in 6 to 7 and every morning for moms in business. And like, that's how it was born. The podcast actually existed before that. So it's just a funny transition that the name, I had already named it that. Isn't that weird? The podcast
wasn't it MomBiz Cafe originally?
Originally it was MomBiz Cafe, and then a friend's like, it sounds like Lady Bits. I'm like, oh
no, I was like, oh yes it does.
Let's change that, because I wasn't sure like how like, you know, lady and mom would fit in anyways. So I had the podcast already existed with the name Cafe, and I'm like, oh, that's so funny. It's like, it was this weird like lining up of things with the universe. But so fast forward now, April, May, June, July, August, whatever, approximately 6 months. And you and a few other people jumped on it right away. Like, yeah, I would love to just like co-work, chat, and let's do this. But I hadn't really been actively promoting it. So I kind of came to this crossroads where I'm like, okay, mission accomplished. I'm up early in the morning. I feel great. Yeah. Honestly, if I have a day where like I miss it, or I'm not, I'm sick and I can't pop on Zoom for whatever reason, I actually feel like those are the days that like run me. But when I'm up at that time and I have it for myself and I kind of get all my ducks in a row, I run the day. Like, it's a very different feeling. I don't know if you feel the same, but
I feel the same way. Yeah. Like the days that I miss it, I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I missed out on something. It's like, not only is it like a FOMO type feeling, but I'm like, oh man, that hour just to kind of like organize my morning, like have a chat, have a coffee together. It just sets your day off like with the right intention, and it totally throws me off too.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's not always we chat for a full hour. Like, it's been a mix of co-working and chatting and like helping in our businesses. And so was it maybe less than 2 weeks ago, Alysha's membership called Biz Besties, which I'll let you talk about. It was like kind of, I think maybe at the same crossroads, like, it's there. I'm like not promoting it. And the thought never crossed my mind technically to like just get rid of the cafe membership. But I started to think like, man, what else could I do to like grow this and bring it to more people? Because it's pretty awesome. In the Plan That Social Club, which is a different membership I launched with someone else, was totally different doing it as a collaborative project. So I just kind of went out on a limb and I was like, so Alysha, like any chance you'd want to like just put the memberships together, like same, and like do it together because it's way more fun. And like, spoiler alert, you were like, yes.
I was like, okay, so this has crossed my mind like 100 times, but I didn't want to like, for some reason I felt like it'd be like stepping on your toes, like asking you or something. I don't know what it was. I just was like, no, she's not into that. She wants to do her own thing. I'll do my own thing. But like, we've collaborated on so many things that I'm like, it's so much better having an extra person and an extra like brain power. And I'm like, at the end of the day, we have been building out these 2 memberships separately, but together, because we've done so many brainstorming sessions together to be like, okay, this is my idea. What do you think? Oh, okay. And we'll just kind of give each other feedback. And we basically built both these memberships together, but like not together. So it's funny how we've kind of just worked our way back together, and we're like, okay, well, maybe we should have done this just from the beginning, but hey, better late than never. I think, the timing's perfect. So
yeah. And it allowed us to like kind of experiment doing it on our own, see a little bit about like what's working, what's not working. And so the idea is taking like the best parts of both and putting them together. So like we know we're going to open the doors sometime fall/winter, or maybe it's not even till January. We haven't picked a date, and we don't even know what the price is going to be. We're just like, okay, we're in the stage. We're going to do it together, and let's just like get on it with visibility, creating a wait list, all that stuff. By the way, if you want to join the wait list, you can go to mombizcafe.ca. You can join it because we did at least do some programming over there. Thank goodness.
We did. Yeah.
Happy with that stuff, or we might be in like a bit of a storm. It's just so much more fun to do it with someone else. And earlier this year, it was actually another one of Carrie's, Carrie Green, Female Entrepreneur Association. It was one of her workshops, and it was like the big one she does at the beginning of the year where you set intentions and goals for the year. And also, by the way, in our membership, we'll be doing monthly, or did we settle
monthly planning calls?
Planning. Yeah. So anyways, we'll work that fun stuff in if you want to do that stuff as well. And I actually don't remember a lot of the structure of the workshop, but I do remember at the very beginning, she suggested to pick, or she not suggested, she flat out told you to pick a word, one word that's like your theme for the year. Like, some people were like really methodical about it. And I wrote down collaboration. I don't know why. I just like, I don't know. I want to collaborate. Like,
you know what mine was? Community.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. And it's a collaborative community. Oh, that's so weird.
Right? I know. It's so funny.
I'm all into like the universe signs, like all the woo-woo stuff. So that's really interesting to me. Like, oh, okay.
I know, essentially, like, I know, and the certain things have just all of a sudden, like I was actually chatting with like my business coach a few weeks ago, and I was like, I don't really know my plan for like Biz Besties. I don't really know where I want it to go. Like, I love it. People had kind of fallen off the wagon for summer because people don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to plan goals. They just want to enjoy their summer. So it was very quiet in the group for the last couple of months. And I was like, got me just thinking like, okay, well, what can I offer these members in order to keep them excited during the downtimes where they don't want to be working? And then so it was like a perfect timing that this all kind of came together, because the like mom's morning club piece of it is the part that like was like missing. So like having those extra things included in the membership that are like, okay, well, this isn't necessarily business related. This could just be like, hey, let's get on Zoom and chat, or like, let's work on our morning routine. Like there's just so many more pieces to it than just like, hey, let's always plan, set our goals, and keep each other accountable, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm super excited to bring everything
So am I.
together. And I think for the first time launching something, I'm totally comfortable with just seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Really, I have to see a few more of the pieces. Like, okay, so I am good at just like throwing stuff out there, and like,
yeah,
if it sticks, it sticks. Like I don't hold back. I launch it, and then if it just like freaking dies a quick death, oh well, like I put it out there, I don't have to question it, right? I don't want to live in like the what if world. That's okay with me. But I do usually have to see some of the pieces, like, okay, how's it going to work? How much is it going to cost? How are people going to join? When are the sessions going to be? And this is the first time I'm like, I don't really have that plan, but I feel like that's actually the right thing for now, because we're just putting the pieces together, and there is a lot existing that we've already built separately for the membership. Yeah. It's just a matter of bringing them together. And anyway, it's just such a different experience doing it with someone else, and I'm really excited for it. And like, sometimes I picture my life like, what if oh my gosh, my current clients hear this, they're gonna like panic, but I'm like, what if I just like didn't have to do the marketing stuff anymore, and I just had these two really cool memberships, the Plan That Social Club, where I just help people plan their social with Jen, and then the MomBiz Cafe, where I'm just running fun workshops for people to fulfill their life and business. Like, how amazing would that be?
Right? It's like, that's like the life goal. It's like, everyone was asking, okay, what's the purpose for your business? I'm like, I just want to make a difference, and I just want to help people, and I just want to make a little bit of money while I do it. Right? It's like, and so I feel like this, we've been talking a lot of big plans for this, and I think we've got some really great ideas, and I'm just excited to kind of see where it goes. I think having the free Facebook group and, working on like growing the TikTok account and stuff is just fun for us right now. And I think we're going to get a lot of feedback from what people want, what they like, what they don't like, kind of thing. And it'll help us in the next couple of months just decide, okay, people are loving this, like this needs to be a part of the membership, or like, okay, people seem like they can do without this. And I think it's going to just be kind of like self-generated by, the people that are in the community that, will just tell us what they want, basically.
Yeah. And in my experience doing it that way so far, because this is technically the third membership that I've it's easier that way. And it's the same when you launch any product or service in your existing business. So our business owners listening, if you're thinking of a new service or something that you're like hesitating putting it out there because you don't know all the pieces, like I encourage you to just put it out there.
Yeah, and just do it.
Let the pieces fall where they're going to fall, and build that system as you go, because you're never actually going to know what's going to happen until you put it out there. It's the same thing when I launched social media packages that we didn't have before. For example, the VIP day that I tried, and I was like, this 100% did not work, and like, this is why. But I did identify the gaps. But what would the point have been of trying to develop a system for 6 months to launch it only to discover that?
Well, that's just it. Yeah. And I feel like that's where like I've always struggled, because that's the way I've always done things. I'm a serial over planner. So I'm like, I got to have all the pieces. I need to know how everything works before I can launch it. And then, you waste all this time and energy for a flop. Whereas, look at my VA business, for example, like you were a huge inspiration to be like, just do it. Try it, see what happens. I'm like, okay. And, here I am coming up to my 1-year anniversary, and it's like, it's, the business is great. Like, you have your slower months and whatever, and it's evolved. The VIP days didn't work for you, but I love the VIP day method. My clients love the VIP day method. So you kind of just got to throw things out there and try it and see what works for your clients and you and your audience. Like, no two businesses are going to function exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. Already? Yeah, I think the end of next month will be a year.
Oh my
God. Isn't that crazy?
Like the time is just like flying. We're in my like main, I call it the main business, but maybe someday MomBiz Cafe is the main business.
Maybe.
But my agency, MTS Solutions, is currently in year 9. So April will celebrate 10th anniversary, which is wild. I actually don't know the stats.
That's exciting.
it's super exciting. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but it's like an astronomical number fail before the year one. So like you're already almost like in that top tier, percentage, and talking Canada. And then there's like even a smaller sliver that's like 5 years, and then something insane that's like this like teeny little piece of the pie make it to 10. So it's pretty exciting for me. And that's almost 10 years of being able to stay at home with the kids, work when I want to work, and make like a great living doing it.
Well, and that's the same as me for my photography business. My photography business next month, it's funny, both my businesses launched in September. So it's like September is like the anniversary month for both, which I find a little funny. But next month will be, I believe it's 11 years next month for my photography business. So it's crazy to think that like, what started out as kind of like a hobby and then kind of like a side gig, turned into a full-time job, like when I had my kids, and it's been great. It's allowed me to be able to go to my kids, soccer practices and, volunteer at the school if I need to. And like, to me, that was like the goal in life. I didn't want to be stuck to a 9-to-5 job where I'm like, oh, shoot, you've got a field trip that day, like asking my boss if I can have the day off. And they're like, no, we've got no one to cover your shift. I'm like, I didn't want those restrictions. I wanted to be able to be flexible. And so now here I am running 2 businesses, you're running 2 businesses, and we're throwing a third one in the mix. And it's just super exciting.
It is exciting. I feel like we should leave it on the exciting note. I wanted to talk about like some of the things we're trying for visibility, but I think that could be a separate episode, because
I think so too.
We'll go down this like crazy rabbit hole of like, these are the 18,000 things we're trying to see what works.
Right. And welcome to Mom's Morning Club, because this is what we do. We sit here and we talk about business ideas. We talk about life, kids. We talk about all the things. So, when doors open up, it's something that you're not going to want to miss out on, because it'll be, it's fun. It's good.
So join that wait list, go to MomBiz Cafe. There is a wait list, little pop-up form there. So just drop your name and email. There's no pressure, but that's our VIP wait list. So as soon as the doors are open, you'll get notified that you can join. Spoiler alert, we don't have the price yet, but put your name there.
And in the meantime, we do have the free Facebook group active. So you can join MomBiz Cafe, Community for Female Entrepreneurs on Facebook. And if you want the link for that, you can just, you can message one of us, or I think we got to finish up the email funnel and it'll get sent out, but we're getting there one step at a time.
Sent out, but you should be able, because the group URL has MomBiz Cafe in it. If you're
should be able to search it.
And you just search it, it should pop up that you can join, and we'll let you in. And we're going to be running some free workshops in there based on whatever learn about business/mom organizing. And that's that. So I'll leave it there for today then, and drop us a comment. We are actively, the one thing we're trying to grow a lot happens to be TikTok.
Yes.
/ Instagram, but Instagram is proving to be a lot harder. So if you're a TikTok user, go check us out, MomBiz Cafe on TikTok, and we'll maybe see you over there.
Sounds good.
Amazing.
Thanks for listening to this episode of MomBiz Cafe. See you next time. And don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Until next time.